ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app.
We are back. Dynamics on the Hardwood is here. It's Mazzi and it's Live Zone on your screen, in your ear. Happy to be here as always. Trade deadline fast approaching. We got about T-minus 2 hours left till it's done. Live Zone, how you feeling? How you doing? What's new?
There's a lot going on in both worlds, not just NBA, but also NFL. So today we decided to give you two shows here.
Two for the price of one.
So we got a lot going on. What are we getting into first? How are we feeling?
All right. We got lots of moves going down in the NBA. Some teams becoming contenders. Some teams just flat out fumbling the bag. Some teams staying the same but adding a new player to their team. So we're all over the place with it. We're starting off with Kyle Kuzma. Shout out all the Kyles. Chris Middleton coming to Washington in exchange for Kyle Kuzma going to the Bucks. What does this make the Washington Wizards a better team? Does this make the Milwaukee Bucks a better team? Did either team win this trade? Live Zone, how you feeling about this?
I think that this is a win on the Milwaukee Bucks side. Now, we talk about the Milwaukee Bucks all the time because of Giannis and Damian Lillard. They need another guy there that can go and get a bucket, which we thought was going to end up being Chris Middleton, but Chris Middleton had a lot of injury-prone problems in the past, and it showed here in the last two seasons as well. Now they get a great replacement for Chris Middleton and Kyle Kuzma. I think that he's going to fit in perfectly, as we saw him fit in with the Los Angeles Lakers with LeBron and Anthony Davis as that third option on that team. I think we're going to see Kyle Kuzma be that third option on this Milwaukee Bucks team. I think this puts Milwaukee right back in the standings for the Eastern Conference. I think that this puts them as a scary opponent to go against in the playoffs, knowing that they have an NBA champion already in Giannis Antetokounmpo. And for the first time in a long time, I look at the Eastern Conference and I say I can't pick one specific winner that I think is going to win it all in the Eastern Conference. And this trade definitely ended up helping that in the process.
Absolutely. So you look at the Washington Wizards side, I don't think it does anything for them whatsoever. I still see them in the basement. You got Jordan Poole running the offense, and then you got a bunch of no names alongside him. You're adding Chris Middleton to there, but he's going to maybe get you a couple wins in the season, maybe 5 to 10 wins where he goes off for 30, 40. And even then, that's on the downslide from where he's seen him with the injuries, with all of that. I don't know what Washington's doing. I think if they're willing to throw away Kuzma, they should have thrown away Poole and just done a whole rebuild, because I don't see building around Jordan Poole as the answer at all. Yes, he can go put up a few points for you, but is he a leader? No. Does he have a championship mindset? No. Does he have the ability to bring a team together? No. It's just no across the board. His attitude, everything about him does not scream championship. On the other side of it, you have the Milwaukee Bucks, who I agree with you, made a move that put them further in contention in this Eastern Conference. You have them sitting at number 5 at 27-22 on the year right now, 1 win away from sneaking into 4, and a few wins away from getting into that top 3 discussion, which I think is pretty much on lock. If we look at it, it doesn't matter what way they're going to finish, but Celtics, Cavs, and Knicks probably locking up those top 3 seeds in the Eastern Conference as we go. I know there's a lot of season left, but as we go, that's just what it's looking like. I could see Milwaukee leapfrogging the Pacers in the Eastern Conference and ended up at a 4 seed. Don't forget about Detroit. In this, Detroit sliding into the number 7 here. Realistically, I could see them moving 5. But if we're staying with the Milwaukee topic, I think Kyle Kuzma adds a little something to the team, but I don't know if it's the piece to make this Damian Lillard, Giannis, and Doc Rivers team go all together and make it work. I don't know if it's the championship piece. I've never thought Kyle Kuzma was really the championship piece. I know he was on those Lakers with LeBron, though. He might have learned a good amount from those. I believe he was on the bubble championship team with
Yep.
AD and LeBron. So he might, hey, he was a third piece in there, maybe a four piece in there. So if he's a role player and can get it done, and Giannis and Dame can figure something out, then they can be dangerous against any team in the East throughout the playoffs. I realistically could see them upsetting a big team, a big name team in the playoffs, but I don't think they have it to go all the way to the championship.
Yeah, I mean, I can see what you're saying as of right now. I mean, Celtics are still like the quote unquote the favorite, but with what the Celtics have been doing in the last few weeks and Kyle Kuzma fitting into this piece as the Milwaukee Bucks are trying to get up to that 4-3 seed, I like the chances for the Milwaukee Bucks more than I like it for the Celtics right now with the way that the Celtics are dropping. Now, I think that in playoffs time, I think that will change. I think the Celtics will turn up in the playoffs like they always do. But as of right now, Milwaukee Bucks, Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Brook Lopez, also adding Kyle Kuzma to that starting lineup. It looks scary. If I'm a team, I don't want to go against that team.
Yeah, true that. I could see the matchup, the dangerous matchup potential in it, but 7 game series, still taking the Celtics in the playoffs. Maybe in a 1v1, one game in the regular season, I'll take the Bucks, but 7 game series, I'm still taking the Celtics in that one for sure. So loser, Washington, as usual. It's been the story of the Washington Wizards to be in the loser's position in pretty much everything ever, forever and ever. So Milwaukee getting the win on that one. And now we're moving over to San Antonio where the Spurs made a move. Now this is a move. De'Aaron Fox coming on over, teaming up with Victor Wembanyama. I'm going to the Celtics game on the 12th. I originally bought it to see Victor Wembanyama, and now I get to see De'Aaron Fox. Ticket prices just went up. Woo! It's going to be a fun game. Now, do you think this puts the Spurs in a position to make a run in the playoffs and possibly vie for a championship this year?
Not this year. I think it's a little bit too late this year, but I do see it in the future. We're starting to see exactly what the headline says. We're starting to see the new Lob City be in San Antonio. Now there's two players that are on the top of this list that are on the San Antonio Spurs, but De'Aaron Fox is number one in pick and roll points by getting either a basket or getting an assist. Number two is Victor Wembanyama. This team is going to be very, very hard to beat with the way that De'Aaron Fox's speed is and with the way that Victor Wembanyama's height is. The San Antonio Spurs really put themselves in contention by getting this trade. Now, the Sacramento Kings, we talked about the Sacramento Kings already this year because they fired their coach. 2 years ago, coach of the year. Now, after that, you now bring in Zach LaVine to go pair with DeMar DeRozan and Jonas Valanciunas and
Malik Monk.
Malik Monk and Domantas Sabonis. I don't like the trade for Zach LaVine because we saw it happen in Chicago already. It's not going to work with Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan at the head of your team, so why would it work? If it didn't work then, why would it work now? Yes, you brought in Jonas Valanciunas that we're not going to talk about today, but he did get traded to the Sacramento Kings as well. So now you can put Domantas Sabonis at the 4 where he belongs. But at the same time, who is going to be your point guard now? You got two shooting guards and you got a forward on your team that all want the ball and all want to score first. It doesn't make sense to have this team be structured the way that it is with Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, and DeMar DeRozan at the head. It just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know why the Sacramento Kings did this, but the Sacramento Kings are looking like the same Sacramento Kings of the early 2000s and the 2010s, where in the 2010s they got rid of DeMarcus Cousins because he wanted a payday, even though they should have paid him. And then after that, in the 2000s, when they got rid of Jason Williams for Mike Bibby, thinking that it was going to be one of the best moves in the season and in the franchise, when in reality it just led them to getting beat from Kobe and Shaq. So, in my opinion, the Sacramento Kings made one of the worst trades that they could have made by trading their franchise player away. The San Antonio Spurs capitalized, and now they have another 10 to 15 years with these two at the head. And honestly, with Chris Paul there and De'Aaron Fox learning off of Chris Paul, the new Lob City, it could definitely be in San Antonio, and I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
Now, here's the thing. I agree with you and I don't agree with you on some things. It's minute details. First off, I'm loving the Spurs moves, okay? You mentioned Chris Paul in there too. That's a big one. Greg Popovich, still the coach over there as well. So, we need to know there's championship mentality in Greg Popovich. The one caveat I'm going to put is Chris Paul will never win an NBA championship in the NBA, and that's a fact. So, do I see the Spurs winning a championship? No, I do not. Do I see them being a tough team to beat? Absolutely. So it was a winning move for the Spurs. It was not a championship move for the Spurs. They're sitting in the 12th spot right now. Kings are above them right now. I believe those Sacramento Kings are going to fall. They might do a swap, as well as the Mavericks sitting in the 8th seed might do a flop down to 10. I can realistically see the Spurs sliding into a 7 or 8 seed come playoff time and being in there in the playoffs, and then possibly being a move like the Milwaukee Bucks in upsetting a big team first or second round, but petering out as the playoffs go on. Now we look at Sacramento. I don't know what the hell they were thinking in dealing De'Aaron Fox for this little of a trade. Okay, I could see the move in trading De'Aaron Fox. Look, you see their supporting cast. If they had gotten another star equal or better than De'Aaron Fox, we'd be talking about this in a whole different light. You got Malik Monk over there. You got Sabonis. You got Valanciunas. Now you got DeMar DeRozan, and you added Zach LaVine, which is kind of just like, what are we throwing in here? Another role player? So we think everybody's going to play their roles and nobody's going to really want the ball. But those role players end up wanting the ball in this situation. They're not true role players. And yo, you play this, we're going to give you 10 to 15 points a game. You get like 5, 7 shots, but this is our distributor and this is our main guy. That's what De'Aaron Fox was. Now, if the Kings had made a move like their counterparts did in the Bay, in the Warriors, and grabbed the Jimmy Butler, I might be talking about this trade in a whole new light. So as far as the Kings being, it might be the one of the worst decisions in their franchise history. Yes and no, because they still have a team here. Okay, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Malik Monk, Sabonis, Valanciunas, they can still get it done. But again, it's more like a Milwaukee Bucks and San Antonio Spurs situation. They're playing to win games, but they're not going to win a championship with this squad. And that's what we look at every team in the NBA. Can this team win a championship? I don't think the Spurs got there. I don't think the Kings got there. They may have regressed, and I don't think the Bucks got there either. So as far as being the worst, I don't think De'Aaron Fox was the answer to bring them to a championship. I think you had to deal him, but you could have got more in return. That's where I think the decision of the trade could have been better, but I don't think it was the worst.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you on the Sacramento side. I do not agree with you on San Antonio side. I do agree that Chris Paul, I don't see Chris Paul getting a championship, but I do think when Chris Paul retires, De'Aaron Fox and Victor Wembanyama can bring a championship to San Antonio. I do think that. I mean, being 7 foot, what, 7'4", 7'5", whatever it is that Victor Wembanyama is, I mean, he doesn't even have to touch he doesn't even have to jump to touch the rim. He doesn't have to jump the dunk. I mean, and his defense he has one of the best defensive verticals that we've seen in NBA history. As long as he can stay healthy, he's going to be a problem when he hits his prime. And De'Aaron Fox hitting his prime now and being that secondary player to Victor Wembanyama, I think that he could fit in perfectly, kind of like how Chris Paul fit in perfectly to Blake Griffin and DeAndre Jordan in the early Lob City days. I think that this team is going to be dangerous. I think that I mean, looking at the the role players around them. I mean, Jeremy Socon, another defensive menace that kind of reminds you of that like Dennis Rodman type player. They got a lot of important pieces that they have on this team right now. And yes, they're young, and yes, they're being overlooked right now. But in a few years, you're not going to be overlooking the San Antonio Spurs because they're going to be right where they belong in that top 5 seeding in the Western Conference.
I don't hate it. I know the future can hold a lot for the Spurs. So just as long as Chris Paul's on that team, there ain't no championship coming to San Antonio. I would put my life on it.
We shall see what happens. We shall see what happens. We got more for you, but before we get into it, we're gonna bring you a little ad from Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. If you haven't checked it out, go check it out because they got some amazing steaks and they got some amazing things on there, as well as a few deals as well. So we'll be right back and enjoy the sponsor.
Oh yeah, just rocking out to the Atlanta Steaks and Seafood. Go get yourself a package, okay? I'm gonna get a package here pretty soon, hopefully. Atlanta. Moving forward, we have more NBA trade talks, more stuff to discuss. I believe we're hopping over to Golden State. Correct me if I'm wrong. Where are we going next?
We are going right over to the LA Lakers and the Dallas Mavericks.
Oh.
Yep. So
Okay.
we're going over to the biggest generational flop of all time. As you know, everybody heard it. I know you didn't hear it from ESPN because they weren't talking about it for some odd reason. Everybody thought that this trade was fake. The LA Lakers went out and traded Anthony Davis and a few pieces for Luka Doncic and another few pieces as well that were involved. But the biggest names of this of the trade deadline were obviously Anthony Davis and Luka. So the floor is yours. What are you thinking about this trade? How are you feeling about it? I know I have some certain feelings towards it, but I definitely want to hear what you got.
Okay. I may have the most unpopular opinion on the internet for this trade right now, and I'm gonna give it to you as a hot take. The Dallas Mavericks made the right move. The Dallas Mavericks made the right move getting rid of Luka Doncic, getting him out of there. I do not think he will win a championship in the league. I don't think he cares enough to win a championship in this league. He doesn't seem to put the effort in on the defensive side. He doesn't seem to put the effort in when it comes to going in the gym and putting himself in shape that will create a career that has longevity. I don't see it from Luka. I'm not going to take away his scoring ability, his pure talent on the court, okay? But let's look at it for what it is. He went to the NBA Finals against the Boston Celtics with Kyrie, some big man on his sides. Okay, that's fine. That's nice. He got obliterated in there. It wasn't even a matchup in there, okay? And when it came down to Luka having to show out, did he show out where he needed to? Did he?
He did a few games, but not all of them, no.
No, he did not. And he looked frustrated. Remember the key point when he was more focused at yelling at the refs every single game, other than doing the work, playing the game, and winning the game. I saw what I needed to see out of Luka there, and I believe Mark Cuban thought the same exact thing as me. This guy is too naive, too immature, and not ready to run a team and bring them to the promised lands of a championship. Now, Dallas got a big man in return. It's Anthony Davis. We know he's built like a glass vase, okay? He could go down at any minute. I do love the big man team that they're teaming up out there with Lively, Gafford, and AD. You still have Kyrie on there. If they could have, we still have an hour or so left. If they make a nice move for a complimentary piece to Kyrie, I think Dallas is in the exact same spot with Luka than without if they can make that happen. Now, on the other side of things, you look at the LA Lakers. I believe they won this trade for sure, obviously, but I don't think the Mavericks lost as bad as people are saying. The Lakers are going to be a better team with Luka Doncic and LeBron James. It's not a question. They're sitting 5 right now, 29 and 19. They have 3 games in hand against most of the teams ahead of them. So they have the ability to end up in a 1, 2, or 3 slot with this move, I believe the Lakers do. But in reality, do I think it's going to get done by the Lakers? No, I think the Western Conference is the tougher division than the Eastern Conference. You have the Thunders you got to go through. You got the Rockets. You got the Grizzlies. You now have the Warriors who just added Jimmy Butler. I don't see the LA Lakers being there at a championship level with just Luka Doncic coming on this team. I just don't see it in Luka. And I know you're ready to go off, and I'm curious to hear what you're ready to go off about because from what I've seen, Luka is not the guy to get you a championship. He's going to put up the points and he's going to get you the wins, but he's not going to get you a championship.
All right. All right. So I have a few things for this. Number one, the complete trade on the Dallas Mavericks side, they got finessed. Finessed. You traded one of the generational pieces for a big guy that's going to play 40 games, 50 games at most this season. It made absolutely no sense. Number one. Number two, yes, you have Anthony Davis. So you have now a 4 and a 5. You have Lively or you have Gafford that you can put at the 5, and you have Anthony Davis that you can put at the 4. Who's going to play the 3? Who's going to play it? Because they're not putting Daniel Gafford or Anthony Davis at the 3 spot. You have Klay Thompson that's clocked out now because if you've looked and since they traded Luka and even a little bit before they traded Luka, he's been averaging maybe 5 to 8 points a game. 5 to 8 points. Last game he had 2 points and his shooting performance was horrific. Horrific. So Klay Thompson's clocked out. Kyrie Irving is your only really piece that you could say that you can lean on. And we all know how that goes in the playoffs. Look at what happened against the Boston Celtics. All right. And number 3, you have LeBron and Luka on the same team. Now we're going to be talking about a team that I think is more dangerous than the LA Lakers right now. But this put the Celtics and Lakers rivalry right back where it was in the 1980s. You have Luka that had Kristaps Porzingis on his team. Kristaps Porzingis left the team to go to Boston. Boston won a championship, and then out of nowhere, Luka just somewhat or somehow gets traded to the Los Angeles Lakers. Luka was in the finals last year. Like people look at it as yes, he didn't win the championship. We understand that he was going against a Boston Celtics team that was loaded, but don't blame that on Luka because Luka was the whole damn team. He was the one that was scoring all the points. He was the one that was assisting Kyrie Irving when Kyrie Irving wanted to play the shooting guard. He was the one that was giving Lively all the alley oops. Who's going to do that now that Luka's gone? It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense to me. And then also, Mark Cuban didn't even know that Luka got traded because he texted Mark Cuban, and Mark Cuban was just as confused as Luka Doncic was. It was Nico Harrison, the same guy that lost Steph Curry on a Nike deal, and Steph Curry went to Under Armour. It was the same guy that did that to Nike that is now doing this to the Dallas Mavericks. And the only thing that makes sense is The reason why they traded a generational talent is because part of the ownership wants to build a casino in Dallas. So, what better way to build a casino in Dallas than to make the Dallas Mavericks a very bad team and lose them to Vegas? Because Vegas is looking for another NBA team. It makes sense. The Dallas Mavericks are not in the position to win right now. They have pieces on the team that still need to be traded that will probably get traded. You will see probably Gafford or Lively or one of those guys get traded for a forward. And then you will see Klay Thompson move out because Klay is already clocked out because he came here to play with LUKA. Kyrie came here to play with LUKA. And then you trade LUKA for Anthony Davis, and you give that Boston Celtics Los Angeles Lakers rivalry that classic like wraparound story that we need for the Boston Celtics versus Los Angeles Lakers. The trade didn't make sense at all. The LA Lakers finessed the hell out of the Dallas Mavericks, and in a few years, you're going to see. Honestly, I hate saying it, but for all the LeBron fans out there, you will see LeBron win another championship ring. They just traded for a center from the Charlotte Hornets in Mark Williams that's averaging 19 and 9 right now. So you have your big man, you have Luka, you have LeBron there, you have your pieces around there like Rui Hachimura and more. The team is looking very good compared to what it was. And like you said, they're going to go up from that 5 to that 3 spot. But if I'm going into the playoffs every single day, the same way that we talk about Patrick Mahomes is the same way I'm going to talk about LeBron here. Every single time I'm going to pick LeBron against a guy like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, against a guy like Anthony Edwards, against a guy like Alperen Sengun, because those are the three big teams that you're looking at right now in the Western Conference is the Minnesota Timberwolves, the Houston Rockets, and the OKC Thunder. And I'm definitely taking a LeBron James over a guy like John Morant. When you look at all that, there's only one team that could possibly beat them. And we're going to be talking about that in a few minutes. But
I disagree with that. There's two possible teams. The Denver Nuggets could beat them any given night, and the Warriors could beat them any given night. And on top of it, I think we're going to be looking back this in 5 years and say this trade didn't even matter.
No. Listen,
Lakers
you're
will
going.
not get a championship with him. That's
You're
my hot
going.
take.
It's a perfect storyline. The last year that LeBron is going to play, you're going to have Luka there. They're gonna win a championship together. He's gonna do the crown thing that he always does, and then he's gonna hand the crown over to Luka, and that's gonna be the passing of the torch of the Los Angeles Lakers. You're going. You're. Hey, I know.
We'll put 100 on it right now, brother.
I know that we're talking about this in a realistic standpoint that the Western Conference is very very up there in like in stars and everything
It's
like that.
stacked
Like
up. The West is
yeah.
stacked, bro.
Yes, the West is stacked, but we've seen LeBron do it with Anthony Davis and a bunch of aging role players around him. We can see it with a
When he was
generational
younger.
talent. The Los Angeles
That was
Lakers his
5 years
first
ago.
year. Yeah,
That was
I
5 years
mean,
ago, brother.
yeah, he was still in his 30s.
That's fine. He's almost 40 now, bro.
Yeah.
It's
And
fine.
did
It's
did
not
you
happening the way it
see
did.
did you see the way that he just played last night without Luka on the floor?
Yeah, because he was energized about Luka coming in. Great,
Come
dude.
on.
It's
Come
it's
on.
not gonna
Come
be
on.
sustainable. It's gonna fall apart in LA. I'm
As
gonna
as
watch it and
much
I'm gonna sit back, eat my popcorn like this, and
a-
I'm just gonna sit here and get my flack.
as much as I hate the LA Lakers because I'm a Boston Celtics fan, and as much as I hate LeBron James because I think that Michael Jordan is the best player of all time, I can see two generational talents getting it done and winning a championship together. And I can't see a guy like Anthony Davis making the Kyrie Irving Dallas Mavericks right now that they got a better team. They were a better team with Luka. They were in the finals. They shouldn't have traded him because they were in the spot to go back to the finals as long as they made the playoffs, because in the playoffs they still had one of the deepest teams. And then after that you get rid of your generational talent like that. I'm all set. The Dallas Mavericks messed up 110%.
I'm looking forward to a number 2 seed LA Lakers versus a number 7 seed Dallas Mavericks come playoff time, first round.
Yeah, me too.
And then we'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Then we'll talk about it, bro. It's not gonna happen. It can't.
We
It
shall
literally
see what
can't
happens.
happen.
We shall see what happens. LeBron, I'm not a LeBron fan, but LeBron is getting his 5th ring, and he's gonna get Luka his first. He's going to get Luka his first championship. And you
Karma's
know
a
what?
bitch.
You know what? You know what? Honestly, with all the talk around like Bronny and everything like that, I could see them trading Bronny for a high first round pick and somebody being like, "Oh, that's LeBron's son. I'm gonna grab him." Like the Washington Wizards or a team that's like down bad like that. Watch, you're going to see the Los Angeles Lakers build up again.
If you think the Lakers are going to win the championship, there's no way that Bron's letting the Lakers trade Bronny. He's going to get
I don't
Bronny a
think it's
championship.
I don't I'm not saying it's going to happen this year, but it will happen
Well,
before
it
he
can't.
retires.
It
It
can't
will
in about an hour.
it will happen. It will happen before he retires. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is I usually agree with you on the Denver Nuggets. I'm a big Denver Nuggets fan. My favorite player in the NBA is Jamal Murray, but this Denver Nuggets is not winning a championship. They're nowhere near good enough to win a championship this year.
Oh, I wasn't saying
They're
championship, but
not.
I think they could
Yeah.
still beat the Lakers.
I don't even think they're going to be in the process of beating the Lakers. I don't even think they're going to match up with them. I think that if they get matched up, if they go down to like an 8 or 7 seed and they match up with a team like the Houston Rockets or a team like the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're not even going to make it to the Los Angeles Lakers.
That's tough. They're already like they got to lose 8 games in a row, and the number 6 seed has got to win 8 games in a row for them, or over the course of the season, for them to fall to a 6 seed at least right now. So I don't know about that one. I can't really count Joker out, dude. Joker,
No, I'm with you. I'm with you.
Joker.
Like I said, other than the Boston Celtics, the Denver Nuggets, I'm with the Denver Nuggets every season. I think that they're going to win it every
Yeah.
season. They're always involved. But with the way that they're playing this year, I don't think that they're going to be in it. I think that Michael Porter Jr. is clocked out and wants to go to a different team. I think that Jamal Murray is too injury prone right now, and their role players are too young to get it done right now. Like Washington is going to be PJ Washington. He's going to be a great player. The point guard that they have there, the backup point guard, he's going to be a great player. I think his name begins with an S. I can't remember. I can't say his name. I don't know how to say it. But they got a few pieces that are going to be great. But like even Christian Braun, he shouldn't be in the starting lineup right now. I don't think he's ready for it. I think that the role players are just not there for them right now.
Only time will tell, as we know all too well. Well, we got another big blockbuster trade, and it's in the Bay. Shout out to Bay. 3 years, 1 year removed. I'll be back. I'll be back. I might go catch a game this. Jimmy Buckets
Yes, sir.
to the Warriors of the Golden State. The Golden State Warriors get Jimmy Buckets, and they really didn't give up that much. Okay, you still got Steph, you still got Draymond, you still got Peyton, you still got Kuminga, you still got Looney, and now you throw in Jimmy Buckets, who still has a chip on his shoulder because he hasn't gotten a ring yet. Oh boy, this is a juicy one, all right? This makes the Warriors a very scary team. Live Zone, what do you see happening from here with the Warriors currently sitting in the 11 seed in the Western Conference?
Championship. I think that they're gonna be one of the first NBA teams to win it from the play-in tournament. I mean, look at this. All right, so I'm a little skeptical because there are still Kevin Durant trade rumors and Jimmy Butler's. I heard that wants to play for the Phoenix Suns, so I'm still a little skeptical of it. I don't want it to
Time's a
happen.
ticking.
I don't want it to happen, but you could see at the end of the trade deadline another trade for Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler gets traded for Kevin Durant. You could see it happening because they're very interested in what they're bringing to the table for Kevin Durant right now, I heard throughout my sources. But if this sticks, I think that this duo could go nuts. Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler. Now, I want to put something out there, all right? Miami, you're idiots. Like the whole organization of the Miami Heat pushing Jimmy Butler outside of your organization because you didn't want to get him help. Yes, you brought in Kyle Lowry and that didn't end up planning out for you and you traded him 2 seasons afterwards, but at the end of the day, you didn't get Jimmy Butler enough help. You could have traded Tyler Hero for Joel Embiid at the time. You could have traded Tyler Hero for Paul George at the time, and you didn't go out and get those guys for Jimmy Butler. So I don't want to hear anything about how Jimmy Butler was treating the Miami Heat and everything like that. At the end of the day, Jimmy Butler comes here for one reason and one reason only, and that's to win basketball games. That's all he wants. And if you're not going to put him in the right mindset to win or in the right place to win games, he's going to move on and he's going to go to a different team. We've seen it with the Minnesota Timberwolves where he took a bench squad. I'm pretty sure it was third stringers and beat Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns and the whole starting lineup, and then after that said you effing need me, and then after that walked out of the training facility and got traded 2 days later to the Philadelphia 76ers. This team is going to be built to win. Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry, you cannot count these two out. They're two winners. We took the best, I think, in this generation, best player in this generation, and we gave him a guy that has a chip on his shoulder to win championships. Oh no, I ain't liking this. I ain't liking this at all. The league is doomed. The league is cooked. We are going to see the Warriors do their thing. The role players are there. They still got Draymond Green for their defensive menacing matchups. I'm not liking what I'm seeing from the Golden State Warriors, especially knowing that Steph Curry is the kryptonite to the Boston Celtics. I'm liking what it leads for the Golden State Warriors, but for everybody else in the league, watch out because this team is coming. One thing I will say before I, bring it to you, Kyle, is you had Dwayne Wade, Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, Chris Bosh. The names go on and on. Tim Hardaway Jr. on that team in the last 3 decades. 7 of the best 10 performances on the Miami Heat come from Jimmy Butler. If that doesn't tell you what Jimmy Butler's bringing to the table for the Golden State Warriors, I don't know what does. The Warriors won the trade deadline in my eyes, and I think that honestly, if I'm going to pick a team to win a championship right now, it's the Golden State Warriors.
Absolutely. I love that stat that you just pulled out of your hat. But I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think the Warriors should be now the favorite in the West. I know it's not going to be that way because they're sitting at 11 and there's a long road ahead and lots of games left to go. But God damn, you put Jimmy Buckets alongside Steph Curry, Draymond, Kuminga, Peyton, Looney, everybody on that team is ready to go. They've been there, they've done that. They still got Steve Kerr over there managing the team, coaching the team. You still got the fan base out there. You still have the greatest shooter of all time who can literally win a series by himself. He can win 3 games by himself, and he needs one team effort in every series to get the 4th game, and then they win the series. We've seen it time and time again. We've seen it against a Celtics team. We've seen it against boatloads of teams. It doesn't matter who. You can stack the team or you can not stack the team, and Curry's going to get you there somehow, some way. He's at least going to put you in contention. The one that they beat the Celtics after round one, nobody thought the Warriors were even going to make it to the championship that season. And then round two, they came out of nowhere, and then you're looking at the Western Conference Finals, and you're like, damn, the Warriors are going to win this. And then they do it, and then you're like, damn, Celtics should probably beat these Warriors. And then bam, out of nowhere, 7-game series, Warriors beat them. The Steph Curry piece component, USB plug-in, downloadable content, DLC, whatever you want to call it, that wins championships in the NBA in this generation and era because of the shooting of the league. And now you're putting Jimmy Buckets, who can go. He's literally named Jimmy Buckets because he'll go and get you a bucket whenever he needs to. He turns it on in the postseason. He's shown it that he can beat the Celtics with nobody. And the Celtics are supposedly the juggernaut of the NBA that everybody continues to talk about. I love, and I hope they are the juggernaut. But Jimmy Butler ain't afraid of anybody. You think Jimmy Butler's afraid? Steph Curry, Jimmy Butler, LeBron, LUKA. That's a matchup, bro. That's a matchup. That's a series, okay? Yeah. That's a series. Any way you cut it. Curry cancels out LeBron. Butler cancels out LUKA, all right? And then it comes down to what your team can do behind you. And if you look at it, the Warriors team behind them can take on that Lakers team behind LeBron and LUKA, and it'll be a crazy series. But I give it to Golden State. There's not a single team in the West right now that I'm looking at that I'm like, oh, they don't have a chance against. There's not a single team. Clippers, no. Wolves, no. Grizzlies, no. Thunder, I mean, the inexperience ain't going to get it done for them. Rock experience ain't going to get it done for them. Spurs, no. Kings, definitely not. Mavericks, no. It's the Warriors need to be the favorite at this point. We literally were getting ready for this, and I didn't know about that trade. And I looked at the headline, and I said, oh, my God. And my jaw hit the floor. Okay? Mm-hmm. I believe a few weeks ago we were talking about Jimmy Butler to the Warriors as well, if I remember correctly. I believe one of us called that. It might have even been me. But
I think it was both of us.
Yeah. This was the one spot that if Jimmy Butler went to, my jaw was going to drop, and my jaw dropped, and I'm scared for the league.
Yeah, no, definitely 110%. Another thing that I want to put out there, that if you look at the last, 3 years before the Celtics won their championship last year, what were the two names that stopped them? Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
So this team is going to be cooking. They're going, in my eyes, they're the favorites to win the title right now until the Boston Celtics wake up. And then when the Boston Celtics wake up, I'm still a little bit scared for the Boston Celtics because of
it's fighting demons, dude. It's fighting demons. You go out championship and you're like, oh, we've lost to Steph before, haven't beat him. Oh, we've lost to Jimmy before, we haven't beat him. Damn. What are you like? The demons start coming. It's insane move. I love it. I love it.
They pretty much got the Celtics Toon Squad. That's what we're looking at.
I gotta go text my boy Chuck back in the Bay, dude. I gotta let him know Warriors are dangerous again. I was talking a lot of smack way back last year. He coming for me, brother. He coming for me.
Of course he is. Of course he is. There are a few more trades that I did want to reach out to before we head into the football era of things here. Number one is that we just saw Nurkic get traded to the Charlotte Hornets. Dalton Knecht is also traded to the Charlotte Hornets. And then the Lakers ended up getting the center there for Mark... man, I can't even think of his name. Mark. It's gonna bother me. Mark Williams. Mark Williams ended up going to the Lakers. And then the other thing is, like we said, Jonas Valanciunas ended up heading over to the Sacramento Kings. I know another thing that happened is Lonzo Ball signed extension, so he will be with the Chicago Bulls. And the Chicago Bulls in that trade also got a few key pieces in Kevin Herter and a few others. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what we have for the trade deadline in the NBA. We're going to head over into some
Hold on.
football.
Hold on. Let's see if there's anything coming down. We got about 50 minutes. I hear PJ Tucker just got moved as well again.
Yeah.
And then they're still looking at the Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant still might be on the move here.
Oh,
The
Raptors get Brandon Ingram. That is the other one. The Raptors
Raptors
ended up
got
getting
Brandon
Brandon
Ingram.
Ingram.
Yep.
So some stars being traded in the trade deadline.
Cavaliers just acquired DeAndre Hunter from the Hawks.
Oh, well, that's lovely for the Hawks. There goes their shooting. But yeah,
But
so
there goes the Cavs adding another piece.
Yep. So I mean, there's a lot to look out for in the NBA trade deadline. We still got about an hour left. So make sure that you're watching because anything could happen at any given moment. We're gonna head into some football talk, but before we head into some football talk, we got another sponsor here for you. If you haven't gotten some Tequila Viva seltzers, I definitely recommend it. I know that Kyle ended up trying the elderberry one, and I tried a few of them. I can't even like remember all the ones that I tried. I'm pretty sure I tried every single other one except for the elderberry. So if you haven't, make sure you go check that out, and we will be right back after this commercial.
Viva!
2,000 years long, we will never settle. Hard days, no rain with a heavy metal. No time, no fail, won't stop here. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop, come on, baby, higher. Like a torch to a flame when it burns hot. We won't stop.
And we're back. I was petting my cat. We're back with the extra point. It's Live Zone and Mazzi. We're giving you 2-for-1 today, and you better love it. Okay, take it or leave it. Super Bowl is happening this weekend. I'm pumped up. Got my boy Bobby over in Sandwich. We got it all set up, ready to go at his house. He just bought a brand new TV. I got the drinks, the chips, the dips. He's cooking the steaks. Live Zone, you're invited. Anybody else who wants to comment below, I'll text you the address. Maybe you show up. We got storylines in it. Birthday boy Saquon playing in his first ever championship. There's a fun parlay going down if he scores over 5 touchdowns. I believe it's like Saquon, birthday boy, 5 touchdowns plus 50,000 or something. It's crazy. I don't know if he's taking, but if anybody gives you, if you know anything about The Office, if anybody gives you 10,000 to 1 odds, you take it. So maybe throw $10 on it. Might be a crazy night. We might see some history. Who knows? All right. But we got Chiefs, Eagles, and we're just going to hop right into it here right off the bat. Live Zone. Who you got?
I'm gonna tell you, I end up having the. This is such a hard thing. I think that is gonna end up being the Kansas City Chiefs. I know. I've been going against them all season. This is what happens. Once they win the AFC, I really just have them winning it all because I think that the AFC is just a little bit tougher than the NFC. I know that a lot of people are going to disagree with me. I'm not saying that I want Kansas City to win because in all reality, I wanted Detroit to win, but unfortunately, Detroit didn't make it. So I'm going to end up picking Kansas City. I don't know what the score is going to be. It's going to be tight scoring. I think it's going to be above 30 points each team. But Yeah, I think it's going to be high scoring. I think we see some of the best offensive players in the game on here. Like we have Patrick Mahomes, we have Jalen Hurts, we have Saquon Barkley, we have Isaiah Pacheco and Kareem Hunt, we have DeAndre Hopkins, AJ Brown, we have Travis Kelsey, and we have Devontae Smith. I mean, both offenses are loaded, so I think we're going to see a high scoring game. But I think that I think that the Philadelphia Eagles are going to leave too much time on the clock again. That's what I think it's going to come down to.
This has the makings for me of the Eagles Patriots, Donovan McNabb, Tom Brady game for me. The reason being is I think both of these teams are extremely strong in what they do. And I think the defense is going to be the reason why a team wins this game. Okay. Now, the last time these two teams played against each other, 38-35 final score, questionable pass interference call, late scores. Eagles had a touchdown lead, give up 2 quick touchdowns, go down, score again, tie it up, then give up that pass interference play and end up losing. Listen, this is going to come down to the Philadelphia Eagles defense, and if they can stop Kansas City from controlling the pace of the play, okay? That's what it comes down to. If the Eagles can control the play clock as well as the ball, which they've done all year with running with Saquon, running with Jalen, and throwing one pass per 4 downs. They do a rush with Saquon, get 6 yards. They do an option with Jalen Hurts, get 3 yards on a rush or a pass downfield. And then on 3rd down, if it's 3rd and within 2, they're Saquon up the middle. I mean, if it's 3rd and 2 or 3rd and 3, they're Saquon up the middle. If it's 3rd and 1 3/4, it's a tush push. If it's 3rd and long, it's a Dallas Goedert catch to the far sideline. It's a Devontae Smith across the middle. It's an AJ Brown deep. Like, there are options for this Philly team. It comes down to the decision making for them, and if they can maintain the pace of play, Kansas City is going to come out on the first drive and put up points. Whether they get the ball first or they get the ball second, their first drive, they're going to put up points. That's what Patrick Mahomes and his teams do, because they immediately put the pressure on you to now play from behind, play catch up against me. Are you scared? Are you going to let the narratives get to your head? Can you come out here and perform? Because as soon as you score, I'm coming back and scoring. And you got to score twice to my 1. So it's coming down to if Eagles can control the ball, if they can do 6, 7, 8-minute drives that result in touchdowns, they're going to win this game. If they do 6, 7, 8-minute drives that result in field goals, they're going to come down to a battle. That's going to be a 1-score possession game at the end, and the Chiefs are going to win like they have all year and all the time that we've seen. You need to get ahead against this team and put them in the place. Make them play from behind with little time. Okay, that's the only way to beat them. Obviously, you give Patrick Mahomes any time, he's going to make something happen. But if there's just not enough time and just an insurmountable enough of things to, like, you just can't get it done, you're going to win this game. That being said, you know me. I've said this before. Me and Nick Wright on FS1 are the only 2 people that have been riding with Kansas City during this 2 Super Bowl wins these past 2 years, and then I've been riding with them all the way. I'm going to make it a pick 1 at this point, because what I mean by that is Nick Wright is obviously going with the Kansas City Chiefs, and I'm going to take the Philadelphia Eagles on the other side so we can determine who is right more all along this. It's my own personal game. It's a little conceited, but I like it. I'm going Philadelphia to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. I believe it's going to be a 28-24 game. I don't think we see as high scoring of a game as we see. I think the defenses in this are coming to play. I think Kansas City's going to take away the options that they can, because you look at Kansas City, they have a choice. Do you take away Saquon and let Jalen beat you, which is what Washington did? But it didn't work out. They tried what Washington tried to do. It didn't work out. They couldn't contain Saquon, but they tried to take Saquon away, and then Hurts just ended up running for 3 touchdowns, throwing for 1, and You know, it even without Saquon on there, they still would have won that game. So can Kansas City take away Saquon? If they could take away Saquon, then it's up to Jalen Hurts and his receiving core to get it done, and their O-line, which I think they're capable of doing that as well. But I think if the Eagles defense just contains Patrick Mahomes and not allowing him to get first downs, they win this no matter what. If you take away Patrick Mahomes and his ability to drive it down the field, I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs could beat this Eagles team with their rushing attack. Yes, you have Pacheco and Hunt, but I don't think that's enough to get it done against this number one defense in the NFL. Okay, you look at it, if they can stop Patrick Mahomes from doing his thing, I think they win it handedly. But for Kansas City, it's harder because if you take away Saquon, you have to worry about Brown, Smith, Hurts. If you take away Hurts, you got to worry about Saquon. If you try to take away the receiving core and Hurts, you are not going to stop Saquon at all whatsoever. You got a guy containing the quarterback. You got double team on AJ, and you got one guy on Smith. Who's got Saquon? Okay, and that dude's just gonna run down the hill and get 5 touchdowns. But so Kansas City has to play. This is how I'm looking at it. It's kind of like the Buffalo game against Kansas City. Buffalo had to play perfect to beat that team, and they did not. Kansas City is gonna have to play perfect to beat the Eagles team, and I don't think the Eagles have to play perfect to beat the Chiefs team.
I don't know. I don't know about that. I think that out of the two teams to play more perfect, I think you're going to see the Kansas City Chiefs play more perfect than the Eagles. I don't know, though. We shall see. I hope you're right. I hope you're right. Because me personally, I don't want to see the Kansas City Chiefs three-peat. I don't want to see it. But I have that feeling. I have that feeling the NFL wants it. The NFL wants it.
If you're a betting man and you want to be happy, here's the plan. I'm going to put it out here for everybody to know. This is the plan. You put 100 on Kansas City to win, and then you root for the Eagles. So if you lose and the Chiefs win, you win money. And if the Eagles win, you paid for the Eagles to win. Screw it. You win one way or the other. That's the way to do it. That's the way I'm doing it. And I'm having 6 beers and some buffalo chicken dip.
Oh, man. We shall see what happens. I think
That's pretty. What's your prop bet of the Super Bowl? Pick one. What are you betting on? What are you going with? You going coin flip? You going field goal doink? You going fumble? You going safety? What are we doing? Over under on the national anthem.
Oh, I'm taking the over.
Over. I don't even know who's singing it.
Yeah, me neither. But I'm pretty sure more times than not it's been the over. So I'm gonna take the over. I think for the prop thing, I'm definitely taking Travis Kelce and Saquon to get a touchdown. I think that both big players are gonna end up getting a touchdown. Now, as for the crazy one that I would think about putting on is I would really think about putting on that Saquon one for the birthday one for the plus 10,000 or whatever it is. I mean, why not put $5 on it? I mean, it's not that big of a deal, but
not you, Adam. Not you, Adam.
But there's a lot that could happen. There's a lot of things that could go one way or another. And honestly, if you really want to know the answers to those type of questions, just ask the people that are involved. Ask all the people that are working it. Ask all the people that are watching all the practices, especially for the national anthem. I mean, if you have connections, ask those people because, and usually when they tell you an answer, vote the opposite because they don't want you to win. So that's my go on that.
I'm gonna give you a couple prop bets. My number one lock is take the over on Dallas Goedert, whether it's receptions or yards. He's gonna play a big role in this game. Also, I love a spicy prop bet that's kind of can go either way or the other. Give me Philadelphia Eagles to kick the longest field goal in the game.
Ooh, okay. Or how about this one? This one's kind of a spicy one as well. Rushing yards on both quarterbacks.
What's Patrick Mahomes?
I'm not sure.
Do we have a line?
I'm not sure what he's at right now.
Okay.
If I was to bet, if I was a betting man, I would be betting on Patrick Mahomes and Jalen Hurts running in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, putting everything on the line. Fourth down
Yeah.
play, gotta have it. Go get
Yep.
it. All I know is Sunday is going to be a fun day in my life. I hope it's as fun in your life as well. I hope you're eating good food with good people on a good TV. If not, go in the comments. We'll send you the address and you can hang out if you're in the area. But hey, I'm just excited for another Super Bowl. It's a great time of the year in sports. It's sad that football's ended, but I mean, we got a lot coming down the line. You got NHL coming, NBA playoffs, NHL, college basketball, March Madness is coming up.
Yep.
Super Bowl's wrapping up. Then you got baseball kicking into gear. I mean, if you're a sports fan, there's a lot coming down, and everybody's excited, and it's kicking off with this Super Bowl. And I really just hope it's a good game. I hope it's not over by halftime. I hate those Super Bowls. I hate when you know after the first quarter who's torching the other team. So let's go. Let's hope for a good game, fun game, clean game. Hell, no refs at the game. How about that? No refs. How
Yeah.
about that?
So we definitely got NFL closing for the season. It's a sad way to close it, knowing that Kansas City and the Eagles are both in the Super Bowl. But it is what it is. As well as we are now heading more into the basketball season. So basketball and dynamics on the hardwood will be replacing the extra point, as well as I'm pretty sure, if I'm correct, you are starting a new show, correct? Pretty
I'll
soon
be
here.
starting a baseball show soon. I don't want to give away the details just yet. I got to get everything squared away, make sure everything on the back end is good, the people good, everything like that.
Yep, and then as well as me, I'm starting my own show. If you saw it last week, WWE, we're heading heavy into it, knowing that WrestleMania season is coming up pretty soon here, and it's John Cena's last WrestleMania. So we got a lot to talk about there as well.
We
Um,
will be here with the extra point after the Super Bowl with one more
yep,
episode recapping the game and also trade rumors and
yep,
possible accusations that are circling around Deshaun Watson and Justin Tucker visiting the same massage parlors. You know how it goes.
yep,
And then furthering that, draft day, we'll have reactions and updates and everything like that. So a few more extra points there will be throughout the summer and whatnot, but it is coming to a close, and it'll be kicking back up August, September, October once preseason kicks back in. We appreciate you for being with us. We appreciate you hanging on with the switch that we did this year, hopping on to East Coast Sports Investors. We're almost at 10,000 subscribers on YouTube since combining. We've grown exponentially. We love it. We've grown in a quick time. We appreciate each and every one of you. We hope that continues to happen. We hope that we could continue to provide sports content, reaction, analysis, and everything you want to see here. If there's stuff we're not doing, please let us know. Please reach out to us in any way, shape, or form. The Twitter, the Instagram, the YouTube, commenting on the post. We're not really there on TikTok anymore since it's been disband or whatever it is, what in limbo, whatever it is. Some people got it on their phone, some people don't. I don't, he does, but we just don't have time to deal with the wishy-washy of TikTok anymore. So you could catch us on Instagram, on Twitter, on YouTube, shorts everywhere. You can even catch us on Facebook too.
yep.
It's Live Zone and Mazzi as always on the extra point. And just remember, stay tuned.